natural resources. Our vision is to empower those students to be informed stewards of our resources, and our values are innovation, collaboration, flexibility, and fun. So we're gonna show you how we have fun and collaborate and innovate in the classroom. Just a brief snapshot here of our board of directors. We have a big board with a pretty broad reach across our natural resource industries. So our direct industries, such as oil and gas, mining, forestry, as well as a lot of our support services supporting those industries. This is our core team. So all of us are based here in Anchorage, with the exception of Naomi, who is up in the interior, covering Fairbanks and sort of the interior region. If you've been following our journey since our founding in 1982, we've had a couple different names and then logos. So we have recently rebranded this year to try to the molecule was really when we were really embedded in the sciences of our resources. But in recent years, we've really tried to expand what we're teaching and how we teach to encompass life cycle of our resources. So our new logo really shows kind of the nature and the resources within our nature. All are interconnected in their own unique kind of triangles there, but all are all interconnected and cyclical. So that kind of life cycle mentality. And then I'll talk about our programs in a minute, but launching students out into the world as those informed stewards of our resources is part of it. So that's that. Those triangles releasing out there is launching students. So new logo, same great organization. Okay, so what we do, we have K-12 education. We teach about rocks and minerals, energy and forestry. We teach about what our resources are, where they come from, how we get them, and then a lot of work around the associated careers, which is obviously kind of what this talk is more about. We have classroom visits that we go into schools and teach that can be in person. We travel all over the state, and a silver lining to the pandemic was that infrastructure in rural Alaska really increased and gave us the ability to do more remote teaching. So we do that some. We have youth programs, which I'm going to talk a lot about, and then teacher trainings, which I'm also going to share some of our new teacher training opportunities. We have three main program categories. So we have Spark, which is just sparking interest with students. So this is any grade for less than 3 contact hours with those students. Then we have our Ignite programs, which are 4th through 8th graders. And this is when we have more than 3 contact hours with the students. So a lot of times what this looks like is a teacher will reach out and say, I want you to come to my classroom every Friday for 3, 6, 8, 12, 14 weeks, something like that. And then we just go in and do fun science with those kids and really help ignite that passion for connecting them to their resources. So getting them to understand why rocks and minerals matter to them, how their energy works, those sorts of things. And then our launch programs is what I'm going to focus on today. This is when we have more than 3 contact hours with our high school students, so 9th through 12th graders, and really trying to help them be able to make informed decisions about the world around them and our state and that sort of thing. So like I mentioned, we're really trying to focus on this life cycle and getting students to step back and teachers and understand the interconnectedness of our resources, and that we can't just look at one phase of our resources. So a lot of times we look at just the use phase, right? Like we all have cell phones or we all have this, and we just think about how we're using it, how we're interacting with it, but we don't think about where all the materials came from for that item and then what happens to it when we're done using it. So really trying to step back and look at how we extract and develop our resources, how are we using them and using them effectively and efficiently, what we do when we're done with them, and then how we can do all of that responsibly and sustainably and what those practices look like. And then the big kind of takeaway is what are all the jobs associated with each one of those steps, and how can you be a part of that responsible, sustainable development of our resources. So we really kind of pride ourselves on being the bridge between the gap, bridging the gap between industry and our industry partners and our students and our education and our teachers. And so we spend a lot of time bringing industry folks into the classroom, and then we also spend a lot of time bringing students out of the classroom. So what that kind of looks like, our big launch initiatives that we have Our rock stars and our amped camps can take pretty much any form that a district or school or program wants, but our kind of main outline for it, if you will, is Rockstars is all about careers in minerals and mining type jobs. So some that they can get right out of high school. So core logging, sampling, that sort of stuff, heavy equipment, driving, mechanics, some of that sort of thing. And then with minimal continuing education. And then also all the degree jobs. So engineering, geology, science, that sort of thing. Our Rockstars camp can happen anywhere, but our kind of main one that we offer is at NACTech up in Nome. And we bring students from all across the region in for a week-long camp and show them all the different types of jobs that are available right there in their region. There's the port expansion project up there. There's lots of mining happening in that region. So really getting students aware of what's going on, understanding it, and then understanding those jobs. Our Amped on Energy camp also is typically about a week-long camp. This camp, we've been bringing students from across districts either to Anchorage or Fairbanks or Kenai, depending on where they're coming from. So we do this with Bristol Bay and bring their students into either Anchorage or Fairbanks. We do it with the Kenai Peninsula Borough. We have one happening on the North Slope this year. So we have a couple different versions of kind of how we do this camp. But again, it's bringing them to a centralized location and then showing them where our energy comes from, how we get it, and then a lot of talk around integration of renewables with non-renewables and kind of the pros and cons associated with all of that. And then again, the jobs and the training locations where they can get jobs either in electricity or directly in the industry, those sorts of things. Our POWER program stands for Powerful Opportunities for Women in Resources. So this is an all-girls class that we teach. We've taught this third session at King Tech High School. We've taught it as a lunch club at East High. We're teaching it as a lunch club at South this year. We've also done kind of week-long intensives of this, like down in Juneau. So again, it can be very flexible in what it looks like. But the goal with this one is to break down some of the stereotypes around our natural resource jobs being for the boys. I'm really trying to empower girls to feel like they could have a place in these industries too. So we introduce a topic like geology or electricity, something like that, and then we bring in a female guest speaker who has that job here in the state. So heavy equipment, drone operator, just some unique things that girls might not think, or see themselves doing. So we make that program really exciting for them, and then usually have field trips associated with that too, so they can go out and see some industry sites. Our Alaska curriculum is kind of a packaged unit that we've been putting together. A big push for it is into the academies of Anchorage. So if you haven't been following that, the 8 comprehensive high schools in Anchorage are moving to an academy model. And so we're helping with the Natural Resource Management Academy and developing out the curriculum, and then collaboratively teaching that at Diamond and West High School right now. We also have done a lot of work in our Alaska curriculum, aligning it with the new social studies standards, and created a 3-week intensive for the Alaska Studies class. And we teach that here in Anchorage, but we also have it kind of as a box deal where we can ship a box of materials out to rural teachers and then hop on Zoom and do that kind of collaborative teaching that way in the Alaska Studies class, which is the mandated class for all 9th graders. And then recently we've created a economic curriculum called Alaska's Renewable Revenue in conjunction with the Permanent Fund Corporation. So not the dividend, but the corporation, and really trying to get students to understand the connection of the economics, resources, and how our resources play a huge role in the economics of our state. And then we don't have a logo for it yet, but our new super exciting initiative that we are launching this fall is AK Career Explorer ACE. This is a student externship. So we are going to hire 8 high school students, or they don't have to be high school. We're going to say 16 to 19 because we're finding that there are quite a few students who have graduated and are just aren't quite sure what they want to do with their careers yet. So this program will be paid by us, but their job for us will be to do career exploration at our partner companies. So the first couple weeks, they'll be with us doing some basic learning around our resources and what they are, and then some basic employability skills. And then they will go to 20 different partner companies and learn about what they do. So basic HR onboarding, do you have to be drug tested? Do you need a clean driving record? Those sorts of things. And then learn about different jobs in that company, and then do something fun and hands-on that really shows them what that company does. And then we'll do some training location opportunities, hopefully partner with ASA on some certifications for those students, and then have a big banquet. And we will have done practice interviews and some real interviews, and hopefully try to find some of those students jobs in the industry for the summer. So we're really excited about that. If you are in a company that would want to host the students, you just host them one time for 4 hours on a Thursday, please reach out to me. I'll make sure you have my contact information, because we are looking for 20 partner companies to host these students over the course of the spring semester.
All right.
And then these are just some fun pictures of those programs. So we bring students to all the large trade shows, so they can do career exploration. We take them out to sites. That's them on a big mine truck that has a female driver. That's our power program. Like I said, we bring guest speakers in, and then we also have a program called Speed Mentoring that we do. So that bottom left picture, we've got industry professionals on the inside. It's like speed dating, but for networking and professionalism. And then we rotate the students every 4 minutes around the outside. So they just get these little snapshots of a lot of different careers. We have 4 of these events coming up. If you're interested in participating in those, we run we're running all of the freshmen from West and all of the freshmen from Diamond through in a day. So pretty huge events. We're also doing a similar event at the ACTE conference for teachers to learn how to network and learn about careers on October 14th in the morning. So another plug to come to ACTE. It is a great conference. And we're going to be doing a fun event there. And we would love to have you join us. And then just a quick snapshot. We do a lot of pre and post survey work to make sure what we're doing is working. So you don't need to fully dive into these graphs, but the general takeaway is that our programs really are having an impact on students learning about the impact of natural resources, understanding the training opportunities here in the state, building their career awareness and their interest in careers, and understanding the importance of knowing and understanding and managing our resources. And then our last big program that I kind of want to highlight is our new teacher externship. So we've run this 2 summers in a row now. This is our 21 teachers that we brought to the North Slope this year. And then I just have a really quick video from the year before to kind of showcase what this looks like. So let me play that real quick.
The opportunity to go with other educators, be able to bring that to the classroom was something that immediately caught my interest.
So we've got a drawing here with all the pieces you'll need.
It's not every day that Alaska's educators get an education of their own.
This year we were super excited because we kicked off our first ever natural resource management teacher externship for teachers from all across Alaska.
ARE took 14 teachers on an Alaska adventure to explore the state's natural resource industry through real-world experiences.
I'm lacking in understanding about the natural resources in Alaska and the scientific components of it. And so I felt like this would be a great way for me to really dive into the topic, to learn from a hands-on experience.
The teacher externship was designed to be an opportunity to take teachers out of their classrooms and get them in the field to see our natural resource sites, learn about career opportunities that their students can have.
They toured Usabelli Coal Mine, the Alaska Pipeline Training Center, University of Fairbanks Community and Technical College, Alaska Works, Alaska Center for Energy and Power, and more.
Fort Knox was super interesting, seeing an open pit mine and the process that it takes to go from that extraction all the way to the processing of the ore.
It's a valuable opportunity for teachers to truly understand the information they'll pass on to their students.
We still need education ourselves, and to be able to learn new things and really one time if they do it with you, you're able to then do it yourself.
As a teacher, I don't have a lot of experience with Alaska's natural resources. And so learning from the experts who are actually controlling those natural resources and managing them helps me understand what I'm teaching to students.
Lessons that are an investment in the student's future.
I didn't realize all of the job opportunities that are available in the mining industry and beyond, and how you can actually go into a lot of those industries in a really sustainable kind of mindset.
My wheels are at turning in terms of how I can use the different lessons I've learned within my class.
It was an education for myself that I am blessed to get to pass on.
It's also important for Alaska's future.
One of the most valuable parts of this trip is the ripple effect. We brought 14 teachers on the trip. Across those teachers for this coming school year, they're going to teach over 2,300 students information that they took away from the trip, and that's just for this year. So each year they will continue to teach more and more students, and as we bring more teachers on these trips, then that number will only increase.
I would definitely recommend ARE to other teachers and staff. It's been a great experience. They've given us lots of opportunities to see so many different careers and different facilities in Alaska.
I would definitely recommend this for other teachers. It's super fun, it's engaging, you learn a lot, and you can bring that back to your students. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Okay, that's the old logo, so we'll move on from the logo. So that's just kind of a snapshot of our externship. This is a few quotes that I'm not going to read to you, but just really highlighting taking teachers out of the classroom and the importance there to really get them to understand the wide range of opportunities, because the more they know, the more they can teach their students. And then our just quick snapshot, our impact in 2024, over 8,000 students for more than 22,000 contact hours, and over 100 teachers for over 1,000 contact hours with those teachers. So pretty big impact for our small team. Across the last 5 years, almost 40,000 students and over 600 teachers. That 50 communities was really kind of bolstered through COVID because of that online ability that we had and people looking for programming online. Once we drop 2020 out of this number, the communities will go substantially lower because we've done a lot more travel again recently, and less of the online teaching. All right, that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much. Mari, are we doing questions now or at the end, or what do you want
why don't we go ahead and take questions or comments if anybody has them? Don't see any hands raised. It's okay. And if you think of a question, it won't be too late at the end. So let's just go ahead and move on and give, I'm going to unpin you here, Beki, and go ahead and introduce Jenny Stars. So Jenny works for REAP, the Renewable Energy Alaska Project. This is a statewide nonprofit dedicated to accelerating the development of energy efficiency and renewable energy across Alaska. Her role as the program manager for the Alaska Network for Energy Education and Employment. Through that work, she focuses on increasing the visibility of and access to in-demand clean energy careers across the state. So go ahead, Jenny, take the stage.
Great, thanks, Mari. Let's see here. Okay, can you guys see that okay?
Yep.
All right, great. So yeah, really grateful to be joining you all today. I've been with REAP for a little over 2 years, and I think I've been joining BEC calls on and off for that time. So really appreciate the space that Alaska Safety Alliance and Alaska Workforce Alliance has created, and glad to be talking to you today. And a little bit more about me. I moved to Alaska almost 4 years ago, and I have a background in journalism and education technology that I brought to REAP, like I said, about 2 years ago. And I'm excited to talk to you today about some of the energy education and workforce development work we do at REAP, some of our successes and lessons learned and opportunities for the future. So a little bit about REAP. We've been around for 21 years now, so not quite as long as ARE, but we're still really proud of that history. We were founded to focus on accelerating the development of energy efficiency and renewable energy. And we think of energy efficiency as conserving energy as well as using less energy through improved technology. And then renewable energy, of course, as the generation of energy from renewable resources like wind, solar, hydro. And we do that work through advocacy, education, training, and community development. And I'll be focusing on the education and training pieces, but that work is really strengthened by the other expertise that we have on staff at REAP. And most of our team is based here in South Central Alaska. We're up to 14 now, not everyone in that picture. We have a new executive director. We had, I think, 2 new educators come on board since that picture, and I'm not there because I was right around that time giving birth to my son, who's now 6 months old. But we do have 1 team member based in Juneau, and then we travel all over the state. Last year, we meaningfully served in our either education work or technical assistance work in more than 30 communities, and we taught over 5,000 students. And so a little bit about our why we focus on energy efficiency and renewable energy. Alaska has some of the highest energy costs in the nation. When a recent report put this in the context of energy burden, which is thinking about energy costs as a percentage of annual household income, and found that Alaska has the 2nd highest average energy burden in the country. And some of our census areas the state has the most census areas that have a severe energy burden, so more than 6% of annual income being spent on energy bills. We really see the opportunity for energy efficiency and renewable energy to help people take control of that price, that cost, and have some energy independence. And then really secondarily, and what drives our education and workforce development work is that our energy infrastructure depends on having a skilled workforce. I think in the statistic, that's about 8% of Alaska's jobs that are in energy. About 1/3 of those categorized as clean energy. And those really are on the rise every year, especially as our energy needs as a society increase. And just wanted to note too that we view clean energy jobs pretty broadly within that larger energy jobs category. Those statistics are from a national report that comes out every year with a state profile. And I think if we applied our definition, it would be a little bit larger because we often work with a diesel power plant operator, but helping them perform timely maintenance on their generators is maximizing its efficiency and thus saving energy and money and even getting ready to integrate renewables. So diving into more of the specifics of what we do in energy education, we think of the first step to building that skilled workforce as spreading energy literacy education about how we use energy, where that energy comes from, how it gets to us, which includes those careers that are involved. So similar to the life cycle view that Beki mentioned with ARE. We have a team of 4 educators at REAP who are kept very busy in the classroom and in the broader community. A real cornerstone of their work is collaborating with school districts and teachers. We do both direct instruction to students and to educators, both in one-time or a couple class visits, and then in teaching longer-term camps, clubs, and classes. In the picture on the left there, the top left, that's a team of students from Gamble who competed in the Clean Energy Olympics, which is our annual energy engineering competition. And they actually qualified to travel to Worlds in the lower 48 and won a blade design award. And then in the bottom right, that photo is from a project that students did at a camp that we do in partnership with the Alaska Native Science and Engineering program. We teach a summer camp there, and then we also teach students who come in during the school year. And then we also do adult education and all ages workshops, both here on the road system, or the rail belt as we often call it in the energy world, and in rural communities. And those are often focused on specific topics, like home weatherization or how solar works, but always try to include information about where energy in that community comes from. And then we also direct some of our educators' efforts, as well as my time and another staff member's time, toward energy workforce development. So to build energy career visibility, we do career exploration lessons and classes. And those often involve recruiting guest speakers from industry. REAP is a member organization, so we have close partnerships with those organizations and companies. And also facilitating experiences like field trips to training centers. I know someone from Alaska Works is here. We were able to bring students there in the past. We've partnered with other training providers and the university system as well to provide those to students. And I also focus a decent amount of time on building up clean energy career programs and pathways. Working on partnerships, ensuring that effort and investment is aligned with clean energy needs and demand. And then we also do partnered trainings and utility training coordination, primarily through our People in Power program. This is working with folks already in the workforce primarily, and those trainings through People in Power focus on specific needs within utility management, operations, so maintaining equipment, administration, so like clerical and bookkeeping, and governance as well. And a couple highlights of our work. We have been working with the Lower Yukon School District for, I think, going on 5 years, and their career and technical education program based in Anchorage, Kusavak Career Academy. And in the past couple of years, we, alongside ARE actually, have been able to expand our presence there and teach full classes with their students. And a recent energy career exploration and visibility class resulted in almost half of students being interested in an energy career, mostly in electricity and construction trades, but there were a few who were also interested in engineering. And also through that partnership, we have taught courses that offer students dual credit with University of Alaska Fairbanks in their Sustainable Energy Occupational Endorsement. And that has translated to more than 50 college credits for students. And we're planning to do that again this year, so we're excited to see that number grow. We also have had some really rewarding experiences participating in career fairs in local rural communities. One of my all-time favorites has been our work with the Lake and Peninsula School District. They host a career fair that's part of a whole week of instruction that they call Snap Meet. And we've been participating in that for the past 2 years, and we've been working with the local utility to get them involved. We've been able to bring in their power plant operator to speak with students. And then last year, we were able to align a tour of their hydro plant for a small group of students, which was really rewarding to be able to highlight local expertise and show students the realities of a local job that's really important to their community. And then another initiative that isn't directly working with students is the Alaska Energy Training Group. That's a quarterly virtual meeting that I host with energy training professionals Anywhere from an instructor to a contractor who does on-the-job training and is seeing issues and wanting more support. And the photo there is from a recent session that we did on solar energy training, really focusing on best ways to help instill maintenance best practices for those systems as they're going into more and more remote locations. And I just wanted to share some lessons we've learned along the way that have made some of those successful programs happen. We have really learned the importance of preparing not only students, but industry representatives and professionals to have the most rewarding time together. I'm sure many of us work in this space of being the bridge between industry and students. And we do a lot of work preparing students, of course, helping them have their readiness skills. But we've really also seen the need to help professionals prepare and understand how to translate what they do and also prepare for what type of questions students will ask. And then we also really our best initiatives are full of partners from diverse swaths of Alaska's workforce and education landscape. When we travel, we really try to involve as many entities as we can if we're doing outreach or a career fair. We also have seen the results of consistency and frequent in-person outreach in building relationships and really helping teachers who are incredibly underserved in our state right now. And so we just try to maintain those relationships as much as we can. And so what's next? We are really excited to be continuing to expand educational partnerships this year. We are going to be continuing and growing the dual credit offerings with UAF Bristol Bay campus, and hopefully bringing those to more students and more school districts and more teachers. And then we are also excited, we've been working with Teaching Through Technology, or T3, in the past through their energy clubs to bring energy content into those clubs, but we are also going to be developing badges that align with some of the specific skills that students are learning in our classes, starting with some of our efficiency courses, so things like weatherization skills and recognizing how energy flows through a residential space, and then moving into our Intro to Sustainable Energy curriculum. And then we are also doing an update to our Clean Energy Gap Analysis, which is a report about unmet needs to grow Alaska's energy workforce. That's been taking up a lot of my time this summer and fall. We're hoping to start sharing findings and recommendations as blog posts by the end of the year. I'm holding myself to that timeline. And then it'll be published as a white paper. And I know I've reached out to a couple of people on this call, including Mari, and I've really valued your input. We also are excited to be expanding our community energy education workshops. We have some weatherization workshops coming up in rural communities that we are working with as partners in technical assistance programs with national labs. So they're either exploring energy planning, so what they want the energy future of their community to look like, or they're further along in the path and they're getting some technical support in like resource assessments or reports on how they would need to update their system in order to integrate renewables. And we are excited to be offering these workshops alongside that to give some really DIY skills to all ages in a community to help them save on their energy bills. And hopefully even more partnerships are on the horizon. I think this is an awesome group of folks involved in education and career development. And so we'd love to partner with more people on career and education outreach, especially to just when we're with students to be able to incorporate as many, industries as possible. I think we really want to help students find what they're passionate about, and sometimes that's energy and sometimes it's not. We'd also welcome any new members to the Alaska Energy Training Group if you want to learn about what's going on in energy training around the state. Also would invite you to any of the public events that reposts. You can sign up for our newsletter at on our website. And I'd also really love to hear about how we can help other initiatives and organizations. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that part of this call as well. And I'm hoping these slides will go out to folks, so I just wanted to include a roundup of links of resources that are publicly available for energy education. The first 3 were developed by REAP. The last 3 are other organizations that we often direct people to as well. And thank you. Love to hear from you.
Thank you, Jenny. We do have a question in the chat from Dave Reese. He's asking how federal funding is affecting your programs.
Yeah, great question, Dave. Thank you. So luckily at REAP, our work hasn't been too impacted, but of course the broader landscape of projects has been for sure. We take a very optimistic tilt that this is slowing things down, but not stopping them. But we are definitely seeing more of a focus on efficiency. Because energy costs are still high, no matter if we're moving our generation towards renewables or not. And so we're really putting a lot of our focus on helping explain the benefits of conserving energy either through choice or technology, and helping show people the careers and skills needed for that. So things in residential building, commercial building, design, planning, facility maintenance. So that's how we've been approaching that shift in funding.
Thank you, Jenny. Any other questions for Jenny? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. Oh,
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, and this is for both Beki and Jenny. I have a very precocious 13-year-old who is interested in automation and electronics, and he goes to a charter school. How can I get my son involved in your program so that he can benefit and learn about renewable energy and all of the amazing things that both your programs have to offer? That's my question. It's a question.
Yeah, well, congrats on that. Sounds really exciting that your son is interested in all of those things. A great virtual interaction opportunity is Teaching Through Technology, or T3, which I mentioned. We partner with their energy club, and they work with students around the state and do virtual Zoom sessions essentially, and then bring them together at set times throughout the year. So I would definitely recommend that. And then we are always doing virtual sessions with on specific topics. I wouldn't say always, because we do really try to prioritize in person, but we often do virtual sessions. And so if you got in touch with us, we could also try to Zoom your son into some of those.
Have you guys ever worked, I know you've worked with ASD before, but have you ever worked with Eagle Academy Charter School? Or has there ever been? Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. By OMR? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. So I was thinking about this year, the science program is kind of lacking what it should have. And just listening to what you guys have to offer on a lower level, how it could benefit the students that go to that school. Would I be able to get your emails and maybe coordinate some time with the principal there? Because I would love my son and his friends to benefit from what you guys are sharing.
Yeah, so and I'll just chime in and add too, I'm putting my email in the chat, but on our website on akresource.org, we have a request a classroom visit form that you could share and the teachers can fill that out. And especially like we have a lesson called Future of Industry, and it's all about the changes in technology in industry. So we have a robot dog, drones, VR headsets, autonomous truck driving. It's like a really like awesome, cool lab to show kids that are really into that kind of techie stuff, how they can have jobs in these industries and why those things are making the industries safer and more efficient and effective. So those are types of things that you can, they could say they want that particular lesson. But I think, I mean, Jenny, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think either of us would also be willing to do like little mini, if they have a staff meeting or something like that, we could always give this type of presentation to them, tailored to what we can offer for the classrooms, and then they can sign up. Jenny, is your guys is on your website for classroom visits, or is it? Yeah, same. So they can request classroom visits with either of our organizations. And we can work with them on schedules, whether it's, like a fun one-off thing, or we also like Jenny mentioned at Kusovac, we collaborate and co-teach a lot. We do teacher trainings together. We do all kinds of stuff together. So we can also kind of build out like a little unit together or something like that to get a good mix of both programs.
Yeah, I will definitely be following up with you like within the next week. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stephanie, for that question. And I'm sure others on the call, I'm certainly doing it too, thinking about how this could be great for, the youth in their lives. So thank you both, Jenny and Beki. All right. Do you all, when I pin somebody, do you all see that person highlighted? Is that working? Oh, you don't? Okay. All right. So maybe it's just pinning for myself then.
Oh, wait, Sheila in the chat said it was working for her.
Okay. All right.
I didn't see it.
I was curious about that.
I think it depends on the view that you've chosen for yourself, how it appears.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Maritime Works next. Again, I am Mari. I'm the Executive Director of the Alaska Workforce Alliance, and Alaska Workforce Alliance is a subsidiary of the Alaska Safety Alliance. So you'll hear both Alaska Workforce Alliance and Alaska Safety Alliance when I talk. ASA has been doing this work in workforce development for over 25 years in Alaska. We started off as APIC and then became Alaska Safety Alliance, and then added Alaska Workforce Alliance about a year ago. I'm a lifelong Alaskan. I tried to leave at one point in my life, but Alaska called me back. I tried to live out of state. I even tried to live internationally, but the beauty and the fun and the allure of living in Alaska pulled me back. I've been here for most of my life. I have a background in research and in public health, and specifically worked for many years in workforce development in healthcare. And I have had the pleasure of helping Carrie Ann launch Alaska Workforce Alliance, and before that, Maritime Works, and have been with this organization now for about 3 years. I'm going to share my screen. See. There's sound. Hopefully you can all see that. I'm going to do another little commercial for our workforce convening, and I saw that Carrie Ann put the information in the chat. So please RSVP, very easy to do so, and come to our convening. If you have any questions, please give me a shout by email. So, yep, I'm doing a little overview about Maritime Works. I'm going to kind of do this backwards, and I'm going to highlight a few things that we have been working on, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the structure and how we're organized and all of the various organizations that that contribute to Maritime Works. So first, just like the other speakers, we also here at Maritime Works and Alaska Workforce Alliance, we do all kinds of career awareness outreach programming to promote jobs on and around the water. The one that we have happening right now is offering in Ketchikan. This fall, we've gone to Hoona, we've gone to Cake. We're in Ketchikan right now. We'll be in Kodiak and Homer. Doing maritime, essentially camps. We call them STEAM Fests because we've partnered with Teaching Through Technology, the T3 program that was mentioned earlier by Jenny, where we go and we give kids we go and do classroom presentations, we do field trips, we have a career expo, career panels where we talk to kids mainly in high schools, but we also, whenever the opportunity arises, we also go into middle school classrooms as well and talk up all of the wonderful opportunities there are in maritime. And this year, the way we approach Theme Fest is it's kind of like a big funnel where we talk to as many kids in those communities as possible. And then a subset of those students that show interest and sign up and are we choose the kids that are a little older, then are enrolled in an online class along with an intensive. And those intensives, we just had one, or we have one this week in Juneau, and then in November, we'll have another intensive of Kodiak and Homer students and Ketchikan students in November, and it's coupled with an online class. We have, in the last couple of years, we've been to Sitka, Valdez, Wrangell. We've done them in Anchorage, Seward, and a mini camp in Alaska to really start spreading the word about wonderful jobs on and around the water. And I don't have a slide here about what that means, but when you talk about maritime careers, actually, I'm going to make this interactive, which is a little hard because I can't see you all anymore. When I shared my screen, all my windows disappeared. But what do you think of? Just shout it out when I say careers in maritime.
Fishing.
Okay, fishing. Yes, we call that seafood harvesting.
Tour boat operator.
Tour boat operator. Yes, the person who operates the boat. Yes.
Captain.
Seaman. Captain. I heard that. Seaman. What else? Keep going. There's so many
Second
more.
engineer, chief engineer, third engineer, oiler, wiper.
Oiler, wiper. Yes, those are people that are in the engine room or connected to the engine room. Really important for running the boats.
Seafood processors.
Oh, thank you for saying that. The people who process our seafood. And within seafood processing, there's so many very good, highly paid, highly skilled jobs like electricians, people who are experts on refrigeration, which is a technical field, especially ammonia refrigeration. It requires quality professionals and safety professionals. All when we say seafood processing, we're talking about all those jobs. Yeah, keep it coming. Is it getting harder now? Take one more.
All the careers on the ferry system.
Yes, yes. And in fact,
I was actually going to add one too, but I can't remember the name of it. The people that bring the boats, like the big boats in. Starts with S. What's it called?
Pilot. The pilots, sir.
No.
The tugboats.
No, I was thinking about like all the guys. I used to live in Ketchikan, and so that was a big job. The people who like sort of bring the big boats into the docks, but I can't remember.
Tugboat operators?
No, it has a name. I'll keep thinking.
Okay. maybe pilots? Okay, well, thank you for that. Yes, so we talk about all of those different careers with students, and I have a slide later on that kind of illustrates the different buckets, and so I'll save it for that. Okay, moving forward, and you all can see my slides, right?
Yes.
Okay. Another program that we have is we call it the Yamaha program. And in August of 2022, the Alaska Maritime Education Consortium went into an agreement with Yamaha, the manufacturers of outboard motors and much more, to establish a Yamaha training program here in Alaska. And the way this program works is if a school is interested in doing outboard motor technician training, they can join the Alaska Maritime Education Consortium and receive Yamaha outboard motors for the purpose of training at cost and the curriculum that goes along with it. And Yamaha has, they call it Yamaha University, but they have a whole training program. And at the Alaska Maritime Education Consortium, we've taken that training and we've, when I say we, it's the educators that are part of AMEC have turned the introduction training program into bite-sized pieces appropriate for high school that can be taught in an in-person training over a semester. And so this has been really well received. This is a snapshot of all of the AMEC affiliate partners that we now have. And if there's a star next to their name, they are actively or will very soon be doing Yamaha outboard motor training program. And, why Yamaha? They came to the table, they approached us and wanted to do this agreement. And so we're working, that's the group that we're working with. It's been really successful in many different communities. We've just added LKSD like last week and many more coming. And the type of training that's happening in these communities. So, in Ketchikan, at Kenai Peninsula College, even pretty soon in Kodiak, and certainly at Prince William Sound College. Prince William Sound College is probably the most further along in their training. They train up to a level, what we call level 4, maintenance motor technician training program. And many of these schools down here, the school districts are teaching just the introductory training program, and maybe they'll teach a level 1 at some point in the future. I don't think we have a school district teaching level 1 at the moment, but many are teaching that first introductory training program. So if you have any questions about Yamaha program or interested for your school district, please let's talk. And so we also manage a website called Maritime Works, and this is a really great resource. And hopefully, I was hoping I could show you the website itself. You can go into Explore Careers here on our website, go into Maritime Careers and see get information about all of the different maritime jobs that are available, and even dig down into those jobs and get information. So let's say you're interested in vessel operations, or you have students that maybe have no idea what a mariner does. So we go into vessel operations, and you can dig into what is a QMed job, qualified member of the engineering department, and there's a little video here that explains it. And this is also linked to Lightcast at the university. This website will show you all of the different, so I clicked on QMed. Okay, so these training programs are all training programs related to QMed, becoming a QMed, qualified member of the engineering department. This is also, as I mentioned, linked to Lightcast at the University of Alaska. And you can go here, and I think this is a really cool feature where you can take a look at more information and even jobs that are actually posted right now related to being an engineering. Well, I'm very sad that I clicked on that and it said no job postings. So let's see, was it that one I clicked on? Okay, let me try a different one and hopefully we will redeem ourselves here. Voila, here they are. So all kinds of different jobs related to QMed, and I can see that they've thrown in a few able seaman jobs here, but want to make sure that you know, all that folks know about this wonderful resource we have, where you can get information about maritime careers. And I think I will play you one of these videos. I have it on my PowerPoint, but I'll just play it for you right now. And, you know, the reason why we made these videos is because we get a lot of feedback about how people don't want to read things. They want to watch a video, and students, youth respond really well to learning about things via video format. So that's why we created these various career videos. So I'm showing, just give you an example. Maybe my internet is slow. I think because I'm on my hotspot. Okay, so doesn't look like that's going to work today, but we carry on here. All right, so check out that website. Maybe somebody can put it in chat for me. Oh, yeah, so I was gonna tell you about all of the videos that are available. We have, actually, let me just go back to my previous screen. And I just wanna really quick show you where, let's see, Maritime, for careers, and go to career videos. Okay, so we have some general career videos about general jobs in maritime, but we have a series related to seafood processing jobs. And then we have a series related to mariner jobs, specifically maritime transportation jobs, able seaman, captain, vessel maintenance, those kinds of jobs. And right now we're working on the research enhancement and management career pathway jobs. So hopefully by the end of this, by the end of the school year, we'll have those posted as well. Okay, so I want to give a quick overview on the Fisheries Seafood Maritime Initiative and where Maritime Works sits in that framework. So, so FSME, or Fisheries Seafood Maritime Initiative, is managed by the University of Alaska in collaboration with us and AvTech, the Department of Labor, and Maritime Works used to be its own nonprofit at one point, but was adopted by the Alaska Safety Alliance, now the Alaska Workforce Alliance, for the purpose of sustainability and keeping the work of Maritime Works moving forward, you know, in terms of funding and sustainability. And within FSME, we have essentially 4 major buckets of work happening in maritime. And the first of those is related to maritime occupations and support industries. And that group, we also, you heard me talk about AMEC, the Alaska Maritime Education Consortium. And so AMEC is a collaboration between AvTech and the University of Alaska, working together I showed you that website with all the different members of AMEC and including the affiliate members, all the various campuses, including AvTech and university campuses that work on maritime education. And we do it together, and we do it in a way where we are collaborating, and things, the classes that are popping up make sense, and that there is cooperation happening between all of those entities, so that maritime education is spread throughout the state in a way that it makes sense. And there's two buckets of maritime occupation support industry. There's the ashore careers, so all of those jobs that are on land are related to getting vessels ready to be on the water or managing shore. So things like the Yamaha training program would be a part of our shore group, and then the afloat group. So exactly what it sounds like, all those jobs that go floating out in the water. And so driving the boats, the QMED jobs, taking care of the boats while they're on the water, all of those training programs are in the afloat bucket. And then there's the research enhancement and management group. So those are the biologists, the fisheries management folks, the NOAA folks, all of those important jobs that manage our fisheries and our waters. And then seafood harvesting and processing, I think that's pretty self-evident, but all of those jobs that go out and catch fish, commercial fishing is a part of that, and then process the fish for consumption of people. And then we've added mariculture in the last year and a half or so, another really emerging industry in Alaska. And so that's an industry that is really trying to ramp up in terms of becoming a viable industry for Alaska. And at the same time, we are working on building a workforce for that industry once it becomes a big industry for Alaska. So we developed, or this group developed, I wasn't around then, but the Alaska Maritime Workforce Development Plan. It was created in 2014 and still is a relevant plan that we refer to all the time today, over 10 years later. Now, we have had action agenda items, which are shorter, more to the point, like here are the strategies that we're going to enact over the next several years related to the maritime workforce. And we just released a new one that will take us to 2030. But the strategies of this plan is to develop a responsive workforce that enables the maritime sector to remain a substantial contributor to Alaska's economy. And we want to guide Alaska's workforce to discover and prepare for the range of employment opportunities available in the maritime sector. As we noted, there are so many wonderful opportunities available in maritime, and we want to showcase them. And then increase the number of people working in these skilled maritime occupations. And we want to grow our own versus import whenever possible. Kind of talked about this already, but strategies of the plan include growing awareness of occupations and developing pathways, improving the readiness of the workforce, and training Alaskans for maritime careers, supporting recruitment and retention, and then bringing industry to the table always. So great to see Trident on this call, because we want to continue to work closely with industry to make sure that the training and programming that's being provided aligns with what industry actually needs. And the Alaska Maritime Education Consortium that I mentioned earlier is that, again, the collaboration between the Department of Labor, the state of Alaska, and the University of Alaska. And then Maritime Works, we support AMEC by staffing it. Jamie Trapp, who was on this call earlier, is my partner in crime. She's our program coordinator that focuses almost exclusive, almost not quite, but almost exclusively on maritime, and maritime works very closely with the AMEC. And our vision at AMEC is to fulfill the workforce needs of Alaska's maritime economies. And we do that through, again, I said that collaboration, talking to each other, letting each other know when there's a training program coming up, and helping spread the word. If somebody has a class they need filled, we get it out to our partners, that kind of deep collaboration. And I've talked a lot about leveraging and coordinating, and again, that link with industry is so important for us at AMEC. We are a domestic maritime center for excellence. That is a federal designation provided by MARAD, the Maritime Administration. And that designation was given to us because of this collaboration of all of the entities that are working together to do maritime education. And it's a designation that's really important moving forward, as we hope that maybe some funding will come available. We're hoping that being a domestic maritime workforce center will help Alaska be positioned to take on some additional programming and funding should they come available at the federal level. They are not at the moment. And that's what I've got. It's my contact information, and I think you all receive emails from me, so hopefully you all have a way to get a hold of me. And I would be happy to answer any questions, should there be any questions.
Hey, Mari, you do have a question in the chat asking if we have a lesson plan that guides students through those various features of the website.
That is an excellent idea. It has not occurred to me that a lesson plan would be helpful, but I can totally see how it would be, because yeah, knowing where to go to get what would probably be really helpful. Thank you for that idea, Amy. Maybe we can touch base offline and talk about that. We have talked about things like having, maritime career exploration in a box. So, Jamie on our staff, she's a mariner herself, and she goes out, does these presentations, but we'd love to be able to have these, just give some curriculum to students and school district, or to teachers and school districts, so that they can do it on their own. That's something that we've talked about here and there. But even a lesson plan just to navigate the website, love that idea. Thank you.
I have a question about your job board. How do you get the jobs on the job board? Where does it pull from?
Oh, so Lightcast, that is a University of Alaska product that we link to.
Okay.
They pull from, I think they pull from a lot of different job boards, like Indeed. I've heard, is Monster still a thing? I feel like I heard that at one point.
Yeah.
But I can find out for you, Ashley, because I'm not exactly sure what the list is, but that question has come up in the past, and Terry Cawthorn, the Associate Vice President of Workforce at the university that we work really closely with, she rattled them off for me at one point, so I can find out.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And if there are other job boards that we're not pulling from that we should be, I'd be happy to pass that along.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And Beki, you said that you could add, is that the lesson plan idea?
Yeah, if you have, I mean, I know you guys came and guest spoke as a part of the academy in the natural resource management class, but if there was like a kit or a box or something like that that could be easily, implemented activities, that kind of stuff, then it could just like become a part of the spring semester of the natural resource management class. That's Diamond and West right now, but hopefully expanding to South, which I have to say because Amy Haberstad is on this call.
All right.
I would love Mari to bring just, a single lesson plan to our marine bio and oceanography classes that's specific to maritime careers. So something that is, doable and would give them in an hour, that would give them some confidence navigating your website and knowing how to use it would be so helpful.
That sounds good. And we could also always do a classroom presentation. It's something we do a lot of. We get requests for, please come to our career fair or our, event at the school. Please come into our classrooms. We do get those requests and try to accommodate as many as we can. I love, one of the takeaways that I got here is, Beki, I love the idea that you have a link on your website for schools and districts to be able to make that request right from your website. Love that. And I think we should steal from each other, right?
Yes, go on there and look what we asked for too, because it's not just like I want one and no additional information. We like make them put some thought into like when and how long and how many students, because otherwise it's just 9 million emails back and forth asking all those same questions. So if we can get some of that information at least consolidated at the beginning, it's really helpful and reduces time on everybody's plate trying to organize it.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other questions for Beki or Jenny? Well, I'll throw a question in there. I would just love to get your thoughts, Beki or Jenny, about what advice you have for industry members so that they can work better to pull students into their industry. Industry members are not necessarily experts on youth or career awareness programming, but they need people. What kind of advice do you have?
I have a lot of advice, but I will try to keep it short so Jenny has a chance to talk as well. I think the biggest thing that we have seen is industry professionals come in and they want to get technical, right? They want to like talk about how cool their job is, but they dive right into maps and graphs and charts and numbers and acronyms. And they get so excited that they get worked up and they get panicked because students scare a lot of adults. And so they jump to what they know, which is the technical piece. And I think the thing that we really try to get our guest speakers to do and spend a lot of time working with them on is to share their story, like tell them about them as humans and humanize these jobs. So how did you get there, right? Like teachers tend to say, you go to high school, you go to college, and you get a good job. And like probably very few of us have ever followed like that little path, right? So tell them what your path was. Tell them when you failed or when you succeeded or when you were sitting on an airplane next to somebody and told them what you wanted to be and they helped you get a job, right? Like these weird nuances that we just don't really share, like humanize it, make it real for them. Share what you love about your job, share some of the things that are hard about your job so they know that, we all share the great stuff about our jobs usually, but tell them there's some hard stuff, right? Tell them what you have to wear to work every day. Tell them the pros and cons of your schedule. If you're willing to talk about the money or that sort of thing, like do it in dollars per hour, because telling them you make 60,000 versus 100,000, like they don't necessarily, that just sounds like a lot of money to them. And they don't have an understanding of what that means from a lifestyle. So just, like sharing your story, sharing how you got there, and then some of the cool things that they can do with that job and how they have an impact on the world. We always try to get them to say how their job helps us responsibly and sustainably develop our resources, which, is different for everybody's job, but, humanize it.
Love
Don't
it.
get technical.
Thank you, Beki.
Sorry, that wasn't sure, Jenny, go ahead.
No, it's all good. I'll just echo, I think we try to emphasize in terms of like personal story, talking about what education or training you came in with and what you learned on the job to help students see that there is a large component of most careers that are learned on the job. And then we really do try to encourage and prepare for the how much do you earn question, so that if they don't want to share, they are ready with what they want to say. But students want to know, and I think that's great on them that they want to know like how much they can hopefully make in a career. And then, gosh, I think I'll leave it at that because Beki mentioned a lot and I saw that there was a question earlier, or at least a hand raised earlier.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Jenny.
I saw John LaRoque from Hillcorp had his hand up there for a minute.
Find my microphone. There you go. Thank you. Question for all the panelists. We work with thousands of contractors, and I'm curious to what extent do your services service those that are maybe looking at mid-career changes rather than just the high schoolers starting from scratch?
I think I speak, well, no, I'm not going to speak for Jenny because they have different programs, but our programming for the most part is really focused K-12 and then teachers. The hope there is that students go home and share with their parents about opportunities that they've learned about. And then if a parent is interested, we have resources online too that are free and available, but we really don't spend a lot of time through ARE targeting that population.
Yeah, and I can jump in and say that I talked a lot about our education work and a little bit about our workforce development work with older professionals. We have targeted programs that work with specific electric utilities in that sort of like mid-career skill growth area. And then we do a lot of work trying to help direct and connect folks like on an individual level with resources and opportunities. There's obviously, we could grow more programs that work with specific companies and things like that, but that's kind of the two tactics that we take right now. And so we really try to share all the opportunities that exist out there for mid-career people, even if we don't necessarily offer them. So suffice to say, I am happy to talk to you or to anyone who is looking for resources in that front.
Great, thank you.
And I will say that we think about this question a lot, John, because we do want to pull mid-career professionals into, I mean, I'm talking a lot about maritime today, but, you know, Alaska Workforce Alliance, we care about all jobs that fuel industry. And so, you know, we will do things like the flyer that I showed you at the top of my talk, it didn't actually say it was for high school students. And so sometimes we get adults that are curious about getting into a maritime job, and we just follow up with them individually and see if we can help them, you know, find a training individually. It is, you know, of course, high school students are a captive audience, and adults are. It is hard to find a captive audience for adults, so it is trickier. But we have some irons in the fire this year, so that we can start working with adults, young adults, and you know, even specifically some young adults to try to help them find a pathway into maritime careers. You know,
and Mari, I'm sorry, I know we just have a minute left, but I did want to mention that that's part of the focus of Alaska's Workforce Future, which is our statewide cross-industry workforce development plan, is really focusing on Alaskans that are already in careers and how do we retain them and help them move up, opening up some entry-level jobs for individuals to join the workforce that way. And also looking at Alaskans who have moved away and how do we get them to move back so that we're adding more kind of skilled workers already into the workforce. So that would be a concentration of the AWEB conversation at the BEC in-person meeting and workforce convening, which is happening in October.
Wonderful, thank you. And full disclosure, my Plan C career moving out of the office is to be a diesel mechanic down in the Caribbean. So just trying to find my path.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. But then I realized it was hot and down in the underbelly of a boat, so I'm rethinking that.
Well, John,
thank you for the info.
One of the priorities of our next action agenda for maritime is diesel mechanics. So coming soon to Alaska, we hope.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for your attention and staying till the bitter end. It is 9:30, so it is time for us to say goodbye. Thank you so much to Jenny and to Beki for coming in and speaking about your programs. And we will post this session on our website for your viewing pleasure. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Mari.
Thank you.
Good session, Mari.
Thank you, Dave. Nice to see you, hear you on here. And I'll just stay behind if anybody has another question or want to chat. How you doing, Dave?
Hanging in there.
All right. Do you think you'll be able to make it to our convening?
I plan on doing that if I can.
Oh, great. Well, I think you heard me say that we're going to have the first one at the first day at the Captain Cook, and the second day will be at the university in the multi-purpose room in the I think they call it the Commons.
Yep.
So, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, it's good. I think there's little opportunities. I didn't want to interrupt any of the conversations, but the connection with the post-secondary training is very important for both those who are in the schools and going on to the next steps, but also for the population that we have of people who are here in Alaska. And the military is a big part of that. How do we get more of the military retirees into programs?
Yes, for sure. All right. Well, have a good morning, and hopefully see you all at the meeting. Bye-bye.
Take care.